Back when people began speaking about the fact that the 2008 financial crash was caused by big hedge funds, insurance companies, and banks creating mortgage-backed securities and giving subprime loans for their own personal profit, people considered it a conspiracy theory, until it became obvious that it was reality. There is nothing insane, paranoid, or kooky about the understanding that money and financial profit is the single biggest driving factor for every decision made today. I can tell you very clearly that concern for your fellow men is not the motive that is backing all of these behaviors that you're seeing within the world. That's in fact the gaslight. One of the realities you have to understand about the world, especially about economy, is that when some people, many people, lose massive amounts of money, when their lives are ruined, other people profit. Other people become very, very rich. But here's the thing. People have been socialized into the understanding that it's not really a good thing morally to have there be a self-centered motive driving things. Even though that's the reality, it's not something they're going to admit to. So instead, they're going to use a moral explanation like a veneer to cover over their self-centered motives. I'm the first person to say that you don't mess with a single-celled organism. You can ask anybody in my community. However, if we're going to say that safety is the primary concern here, or the well-being of our citizens, we have to face a very difficult truth. The reality is that as of today, about 337 people die in fires every day. Around 1,418 die of the flu every day. About 3,792 people die from car accidents every day. About 7,671 people die of obesity every day. And some 21,000 people die from hunger every day. Yet there's no global reaction to these threats, and you might be asking why. For two primary reasons. The first being, there's no financial profit, or minimal at best, to be had with these threats. Two, uncertainty is the food of panic. We have the tendency to not fear a very real risk if it's familiar and known, but panic anytime we encounter something unknown and unfamiliar. COVID-19 is an invisible, unknown, foreign threat. It ticks all the boxes for what causes human panic. Because we don't understand it, because we feel like it's going to come at us from anywhere and we have no real control over catching it or not catching it, we feel like any of us, all of us, could be at risk in terms of survival. In other words, and I hate to hold the mirror up so closely to your face, it's something that panics us all because it feels like it's something that all of us could suffer from, not just those people. When people are afraid, people become narcissistic. It's not because people are bad. It's because simply the priority shifts to self-preservation. Self-preservation usually at any cost. Another way of saying this is that it's a knee-jerk reaction to become narcissistic when you're threatened. But this knee-jerk reaction, in fact, often brings about the very thing we're trying to avoid. Back in the day, this knee-jerk reaction towards self-preservation may have served us when it came to getting out of the way of a saber-toothed tiger, so to speak, but the threats that we're facing today are complex and multifaceted and definitely not as direct as something charging straight at you. This means that if we react in the same way we would to a saber-toothed tiger, with knee-jerk reactions, we're going to get ourselves into a world of pain. This fear that we feel and this drive towards self-preservation, it not only makes us blind, it makes us extremely controllable. Over the last few weeks and even months, people have been asking me, begging me, pressuring me, guilting me into talking about this COVID-19 dynamic, this crisis within the world. I've stayed silent. A lot of people have read into why I've stayed silent. You want an answer. You want me to tell you what to think and what to do. This is a natural reaction. Anytime we're thrown into a state of panic, most of us don't feel like we have the resources to make logical decisions, and so we want somebody else to tell us what to do. I don't want to make anybody wrong for this. What I do want to do is to reflect something. Do you see the danger in being controlled by somebody who is specifically telling you what to do or what to think for their own self-centered motives? if what fear makes you do is to want someone to tell you what to do. Governments and many companies have very different motives for reacting to this virus than citizens do, because many of these governments have much different information about what's actually going on than you do. All of that aside, the issue with COVID-19 is going to be the reaction to it. The reaction that people have to COVID-19 has the potential to kill so many more people and destroy so many more lives than the organic virus itself. The many conflicts that will arise as a result of the reaction to it are the biggest threat of all in this situation.